It's late afternoon. You're sitting on the couch, staring at your laptop across the room. You know exactly what you need to do, but your bandwidth is completely tapped out. So you wait. Most people assume they need to feel ready before they can begin, but when that feeling doesn't arrive, the day ends in a cycle of self-judgment and labels of laziness. Systemic bottlenecks occur when we treat motivation as a prerequisite rather than a byproduct. Waiting for a specific emotional state creates a single point of failure in your productivity. There is a testable rule that bypasses this behavioral trap, allowing you to operate even when your desire to work is at its lowest point. Plans built on the assumption of peak state emotions carry a high failure rate. To be effective, a system must be able to function using the energy you actually have. This standard linear model, inspiration to motivation to action, frequently stalls. If inspiration doesn't strike, the sequence never receives power. In reality, behavior is a closed loop. Completing a minuscule task triggers a small win, releasing dopamine, which provides the inspiration to keep going. This achievement loop means that action functions as the generator for motivation. You don't wait for the engine to warm up. The act of turning the key is what creates the heat. Reframing starting as the source of energy allows for a structural shift in how we approach a difficult day. Every task has an initial resistance known as activation energy. To get this massive flywheel spinning, the focus must shift from the total volume of work to the friction at the point of contact. The 2-minute rule reduces this starting resistance to near zero. Instead of trying to study for 2 hours, you commit only to opening the textbook. Lowering the barrier to entry makes the decision to start almost effortless. While we want to remove friction from our goals, we can use the same principle to stall our distractions. The 20-second rule involves adding a small physical delay to bad habits. Putting the remote in a drawer, moving apps to the last page, breaks the autopilot reflex, forcing you to consciously choose the distraction. This engineering mindset also applies to perfectionism. Under the 77% rule, we accept that an imperfect start is more valuable than perfect inaction. Polishing is for the final stage. The beginning requires only motion. Aggressively manipulating these friction points creates a routine that survives your lowest energy days. Let's pressure test the system. What happens if you apply the 2-minute rule, start the work, and still feel exhausted? This is the distinction between a cold engine and an empty tank. A cold engine just needs a low-friction start to begin generating its own heat. An empty tank has no fuel left to give. If you have started the work and still feel drained after several minutes, you are experiencing genuine cognitive overload. At that point, the correct systemic response is rest. Auditing your energy this way prevents burnout. It ensures you never confuse biological fatigue with a lack of character. Relying on willpower is like building a structure out of a fragile material. It works under ideal conditions, but fails under stress. The next time you feel stuck, stop looking for motivation. Instead, lower the barrier to entry until it feels trivial to say no. Look at this question. What is one task you've been putting off, and how can you reduce its starting friction to zero right now? If these field notes were useful, hit the like button. It helps the algorithm show this to others who are stuck. And subscribe if you're interested in more systems-based self-improvement. Run the experiment. Keep what works. Aim for stability over perfection.